What's up, y'all? Eric here, driver lineup, world's okay steering wheel holder. Long time since I've done a video. It's the first video of this year. No, actually, well, I recorded a video on January 1st, but I never uploaded it. Not because there's no reason other than I just forgot to upload it. And now it's so not relevant that I don't want to upload it. But it's been busy, and I pride myself on, generally speaking, being able to thread the needle on winter weather. I've been, for a few years, really good at it. Just watching weather like a hawk and making sure my loads are, lined up to be able to navigate it. And I made a critical error. It was an offer I was familiar with this. Okay, so let me back up. So when all the weather, this last round, today is what, 12th or 13th or something, this last round was coming through, I was up in Ohio, and I knew I had, like, it was already starting to snow in the morning, but it wasn't anything crazy. Like, I even drove through it in an empty trailer. It was just like there was nothing on the ground, or wasn't anything crazy. But I knew I had like one night to get the hell out of the Midwest, right? So I pull up load choice, and there's a daisy load going out of Wooster, Ohio, if you're familiar. Which, by the way, that is a great place to pick up at. If you're ever wondering, now they're heavy. They're heavy, but they're smart loaders. They load them right. I've picked up there quite a few times, and they're loaded right every time. I usually put the tandems in like the 8th or 9th hole and be completely fine. And that's with 44,000 pounds. So they just load them right. The pallets are just high enough to where the weight is evenly distributed. Great shipper. They're really fast. They'll get you loaded in like 30-40 minutes. Paperwork comes like 10 or 15 minutes after that. Great shipper. Anyway, I digress. So I see on load choice there's a daisy load going down south of to Tifton, Georgia. Great. Yes, let's go. I want out of here. I want out. I want to go south. So I was able to get that load. I got south. It was 60 degrees down there. It was amazing. So I threaded that needle, right? Got out of there. And then I see all the posts. Everything's blowing up from the Midwest. I've got my Peterbilt. He was in Kansas, and he's been just barely skating through it all. So it was kind of like I just haven't had to deal with it this year. And I've done a really good job of staying out of it. Well, so then I took a load out of Georgia up to North Carolina, a really good load, cargo load, that went to a Walmart up in Mebane, Walmart. Y'all know that Walmart up there. That was great, quick load, overnight, drove it overnight. It was like 400 miles. And immediately pulled up load choice because I'm seeing all the weather and everything. Something, okay, I think I can sneak through. And I was just paying attention to the snow. That's all I was paying attention to. That was my critical error. Well, I knew this place. I'd only gotten a load here one other time. And in my excitement, I'm thinking $2 a mile. The last time I was there, the load only weighed like, 3,000-4,000 pounds. It was amazing. So, boom, get on it, book it. The load weighs 1,700 pounds. Like, I kid you not, 1,700 pounds. It's 7 pallets, but it's actually only 4 pallets, with 3 of them have they're short pallets, and 3 of them have a short pallet stacked, so they're double stacked. So it's 7 total pallets, but it's all in the very front of the trailer because it's only 4 pallets. 3 of them stacked double. It's 1,700 pounds. Actually, it's like 1,750 pounds. So I'm super excited, And then I start looking at the weather, and what I did not account for was the wind. And usually I do. Usually I'll look at all the variables and I was just watching the snow. I was watching the snow and the severe weather, the thunderstorms and stuff like that, hail. And I just, for whatever reason, didn't take into account the wind. So I've been shut down for a full, in fact, I think I get a 34 reset here in like 6 hours. And I don't think I can move yet. I messaged dispatch this morning because I'm 550 miles from my 90. And the appointment's for like 0600 or 0800 tomorrow morning. And I told him, I was like, hey, you know, I'm not trying to be a pansy here. But I think I've got some wind issues, and I'm just not real comfortable with the fact that I basically have an empty trailer. And I got to go 550 miles with basically an empty trailer. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what if like there's not a lot of trucks shutting down, and I'm the sap out here going, hey, I'm too chicken shit to roll with this damn near empty trailer. Well, the message comes back, do not, in fact, it's on the phone. It's on the phone that I'm recording this on. But it says pretty much, do not attempt to roll. That's what that was the first sentence. Do not attempt to roll. And then he goes and describes that we've got rollovers and trucks in the ditches, and there's major problems. So I didn't feel so bad. Like, it sucks that I'm locked up on this load and can't, you know, it's a great reload area that I'd be going to. I need to get an air filter in the truck, and it positions me where I can do that real quick. So that sucks, man, but it is what it is. I ain't going out there. I got to go over the mountains in West Virginia, going into Charleston and into Ohio. And the wind is hitting. Right now it's like 20, it's dying down this evening to 20, 25 sustained, but gust in the 40 to 50 mile per hour range. Well, with an empty trailer, man, with the wind coming from the southwest and me going northwest, all it takes is one gust. And I know somebody, I've got a friend who got rolled over years ago, and he was on the phone with another driver that I know. And the other driver, the way he tells the story is, yeah, I'm talking with him on the phone. He's pulling out of the truck stop. He's on the on-ramp about to get on the interstate, and he says, I gotta go, I'm going over. And that's what happened. So, you know, it's just not something I'm interested in experiencing, man. I don't want that to be part of my journey, you know. So I'm shut down, man. It's crazy because I'm not shut down because of snow. I'm not shut down because of severe thunderstorms or hail or any of that. It's just a damn wind. And but the truck's on both sides of me. In fact, I had lunch with the driver to my left. He and I were both getting out and went and did a death march through the wind today to get something to eat, and because we're both hung here. And I asked him about it, and he was like, bro, I got 18,000 pounds, and I was getting just tossed around like a rag doll. So he shut down. So I didn't feel so bad about it. But it just sucks when you're like just locked up in a truck stop and you're not getting snowed on, and I don't have tanks freezing. It's like 32 degrees, so it's not that cold. I mean, it's cold out in the wind, but it's just a damn wind, man. So I don't know. And dispatch said, I've never had them say that to me. I've never had them say, do not attempt to roll. Well, now, first of all, let me also say that in the dispatch for this load, it says very valuable product. Do not take, my Qualcomm's off, but it says something like, you know, in the instructions, it says something like, do not take unnecessary risk or something like that. So it's not a high val load, but it's high value product that they want to be, you know, taken very well care of. So I've never seen a response like that. You know, I've had to probably on 10 occasions say that because of weather, I'm going to be a little bit late in my time driving, but I've never gotten a response back that says, do not attempt to roll. So it definitely confirmed that I should probably just wait this out, you know. So I'm just going to have to, I don't know, man, I'm just going to have to wait it out. I honestly don't think I'm going to be able to leave until probably tomorrow afternoon, which would make me a full 24 hours late to the appointment, and I'll just have to do the whole 550 miles overnight, which is fine. You know, I drive at nights, and you know, I prefer to be more in the like 420 or less per night range, but that's fine. If I gotta run 550, 600 miles, it's fine. I'll do it. And then I'll just have to be a day late to the appointment, you know, because the problem is, even if the wind dies down for like 100 miles and then I'm right back in the 50-mile-per-hour gust, well, what was the point? Because then I got to try to find a place to park in the middle of the night in the wind. I'm just not down for that, you know. Like, it was so hairy earlier today that I went outside and dropped the landing gear. I dropped the landing gear, disconnected, and then pulled the truck forward a few inches to completely clear the kingpin, because when there was not a truck next to me, like, I could feel it. I could feel things happening. I was like, if that trailer's going, it's not taking my tractor with it. So it's finally caught up to me, man, but it just is what it is. So I hope all of you are navigating this as well as possible. I know there's problems all over the country, man. All kinds of problems. You guys have seen it all over the place, video after video after video of it's just a nightmare. And what really sucks is this is round 2 of 3. So behind this one is another one coming. So, you know, winter kind of gave us a really tame November and December, generally speaking. And boy, as soon as the new year hit, it was like, you know, Leroy Jenkins. Like, it was just on. And it's interesting because I was watching someone looking at FreightWaves data, and it's creating these pockets of really high demand, really high rejection rates. Like, if you're willing and able to get to the Northwest right now, there is a freight bonanza, like Twin Falls, Idaho, Portland, Seattle. The rejection rates right now are like in the 25 to 30% rejection rates, because there's just not enough trucks up there. There's way more freight than there is trucks, because trucks just can't get out there. They're all shut down trying to get out there or trying to get away from there. So if you're out there, you're probably going to see some pretty damn good rates and some pretty damn good freight. But that's happening in a couple areas right now, where the trucks are so lopsided and they're not where they should be, and it's causing some interesting things for freight. So anyway, that's kind of, I just wanted to give you guys an update and just say, be safe out there. Don't take any risk. It was not comforting to see that our carrier has had, you know, some issues. We've had some rollovers. We got a lot of trucks in the ditch. I mean, that was said in no uncertain terms. So, you know, don't take risk. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Yeah, I was off to a great start on this period, and it kind of got scuttled because of it. But is it better to be a day or two behind on freight, or to be turned over on an interstate? You know what I mean? Like, it's just not worth the risk to me. I'm not gonna play that game, because nobody who gets blown over by wind thinks they were gonna get blown over by wind. Everyone thinks they could make it, and then they don't. So if I'm not 100% certain that it's gonna be fine, I'm not going out there in wind with a trailer that only has not even a ton of freight in it. Just not gonna happen. So I'll get a fresh clock and try to figure this thing out. So that's been it. But outside of that, man, freight has been very consistent for me. Very consistent for my trucks. I've had zero issue getting reloaded and staying busy. And from what I'm hearing on a lot of trucks that aren't carrying the kind of products that Prime pulls, there's a lot of issues, and a lot of people are waiting a lot longer and not seeing the consistency, and certainly not seeing the rates. So things are considering that we're already a couple weeks into January, I'm very pleased with that, because it could have been, everything seemed to indicate that it could have been pretty bad. By the way, this lot that I'm in, I've seen 2 accidents. I'll show you the view here. I saw 2 accidents last night. One problem was there was an oversize who parked alongside, and his tractor was sticking out a full tractor length past all the other tractors. So it made it so that you couldn't back into the spots across from him, and you couldn't get into some of the straight backs because he was so far out there. Now, that doesn't excuse the other drivers. They got to be aware and be paying attention, right? You can't just hit his truck. But also, it's kind of like, dude, you're kind of a problem. Like, I know it's not your fault that you're being hit. You shouldn't be hit twice in one night, and it wasn't like significant damage. He had some deer guard damage and had a headlight cracked out. But you're kind of just asking for it, you know? Kind of just asking for it. If you choose to pull that kind of freight, man, you need to plan accordingly. So anyway, all right, guys, be safe. Make good decisions. Always drive, thrive. Talk to y'all soon.